I'd like to call this meeting of the RTM Parks and Rec Committee of the RTM, for April 8th. It's in person and in hybrid. And I'm going to finish going through the attendance. Patty Baumgartner's here. Diane Conlog.
Here.
Cheryl Russell.
Here.
Kelly Scanlon.
On her way.
Penny Wilson. Gary Cardone. Joe Conifer. Jean Sue.
Here. Wait, sorry. Was Penny here? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
No, is Penny here? No.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
Andy's not here. Sammy Savage here. Anna Lohman. Not yet. Mac Patrick.
Here.
Here. Bill Van Loan.
Here.
Trevor Hawley. I think he's blank in case they come. Okay, we have a quorum. So I'd like, first order of business is approval of the minutes from March 11th. Are there any corrections to the minutes of March 11th, which are really good? really good.
Very thorough, Jean. Thank you.
I mean, more than thorough, Jane.
Your attachments of the spreadsheets for the sections of the budget that are relevant was really helpful because we go through all of this, right?
Yeah, I do that for myself mostly, but yeah.
Quickly for the minutes, it's really.
If there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve? Sandy and Matt,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you need to call out the
I
people?
think that, okay, yeah, maybe I do. All right, you folks up there, Diane,
Aye.
Jean,
Aye.
Cheryl,
Aye.
that makes it unanimous. There's Kelly.
Kelly,
Kelly has arrived.
Do you want to
Approve the minutes?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Try to make a motion?
No, it's already done.
Just vote.
Just say aye.
We're just voting, just say aye.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay, no, all right.
Thank you for making it in person, Kelly.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, where's that got to?
Mhm.
So we have
All right,
10
and we'll-
people present. Is that who you have there?
We're 6 of us here.
Well, do you have 10 people total?
We're
I
counting.
have 9, actually.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you counting yourself, Adele?
Was 8, 9, yeah,
What is the quorum that we need?
8.
8.
Penny's not here yet.
Who? Penny. Yeah, I don't have her. Adele, Patty, Diane, me, Andy,
Oh, yeah,
Mac, Cheryl, Sandy, Kelly, and Bill.
Yeah.
That's 10.
Yeah, we got a quorum.
Got a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Andy's
I just wanted
not
to make sure
here.
I had the right number of people because I can't see all the names, but yes. fine.
Okay, it's okay, I'm looking just one more time here.
Did Jean say Andy?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, he's not.
Andy's not here. No, Andy cannot make the meeting.
is that what you
Got
had, G? Okay, so it's
Got it.
9. All
That's
right,
it.
got it
Okay,
now.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, I can count. I've not lost it completely yet. Okay, next is the update for the fiscal year 27 Park and Rec. Start operating and 6-year capital improvements, and then we'll move into the community and environment. Patty and I were at the Board of Finance meeting last night where they voted. And so, fun and games. The only
news is.
well, the only thing that I saw the Board of Finance changes on that information that I sent out today. And the only thing I saw in the operating budget is that Park and Rec admin, it's adjusted for $6,156 on the part-time salary under admin. So I'll have to find out what that was. I suspect it was just an adjustment. They just didn't have the number right. I don't think there was really a reduction, but I need to check on that.
Is there a difference between, so those 3 files you sent, is there a difference between the one that says approved and the one that says approved JD?
Well, that would be the selectman, JZ.
Okay, it says JD, so I wasn't sure. Like, should we be looking at both of them or just looking at the approved JD one?
Well, I think the approved, at this point, if they're sending, oh, well, maybe they didn't change it. Whatever it is that you got, it should be, it's the Board of Finance approved it last night.
Three attachments were sent, so I just wanted to know which one
know
we
it.
should be referring to.
Right. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, I did not look at all those numbers.
You get included everything.
Yes.
And so basically, what you have in the minutes is really what we can all work off of.
Yes.
Because the great news is, nothing got cut.
Right.
from the
Okay,
Board of
great.
Finance. So everything is the same, so
Exactly.
you don't have to sweat it.
You don't have to do
Go
it
through
again,
anything.
you know?
Okay, great.
There was, and that's it. That was it for the operating. Everything else is the same as we went over at the last meeting. And then for capital, there was much discussion about the ADA capital. And, but in the end, nothing was removed. And so it passed.
And to be clear, it was a long conversation for not a huge price item. It was the traffic circulation study for Cherry Lawn at
Right.
75K. And so, but it was quite a long discussion. It was a split vote, 3 for, 3 against, and 1 abstain. And so then if it's an abstain, it doesn't move forward. And so it doesn't get cut. It was put up to get cut, and then it did not get cut. The biggest, just to give it in a nutshell, the concern was that I would say in essence, they just didn't feel like it was ready for prime time because it was being looped in. They didn't have an issue with renovating the $40,000 for fixing up the Cherry Lawn bathroom. It was just all of this ADA, and there was a lot of conflict, not within their board, but maybe with how people interpret the ADA data. Some people felt it had to, every single field, every single building, every single item had to be ADA compliant. But, they had read through it in deep dive and said it was specific, you could make it a specific area. So one example that one of the Board of Finance women said was, just to give you some background, if we were going to do tennis courts, the ADA consultant report says it makes more sense to do it at Weed Beach because it's close to the driveway and the street where it comes in versus the tennis courts at Cherry Lawn or all the way down. I thought that was really kind of a good way to describe how the consultant said. So there were things like may instead of must. So anyways, the news is that nothing got cut from the budget, which is great. We're
John explained it extremely well, that it was a commission priority and actually had been their priority before the ADA audit had been done. And so the ADA just added to it and it would help, kill 2 birds with 1 stone really, but he explained it extremely well, a whole lot better than I could even think about doing. I promised you, and I think that made the difference. So
yeah, definitely. And he promised to be on top of it and to be involved with all of the meetings on that. And so I think that's really kind of what they wanted to hear, that there was, senior management having oversight.
although he pointed out that he doesn't have oversight because the Park and Rec Commission are in charge of parks, period. But obviously, if you spend money, you have to come through the rest of the process.
Yes.
So everybody's involved. So it was, at the end, it worked out well. And the rest of the capital, there wasn't any question about. And so that was it. There were only 3 ADA projects in
Come on in.
No, it's
Wrong meeting, but
Park and Rec. There were only 3 ADA projects that were listed, one of which was for the police. And then the other two were the park and rec. So the other was the bathroom at Cherry Lawn, which nobody had a problem with bringing that up.
And actually, the police one was the one that they delayed. It's the front lobby that they did say in the end that they delayed. Didn't they delay that?
No, they didn't delay any of them.
You sure?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought they delayed. I thought they
Did
would
you?
have said, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Pardon
We had our district flag meeting last week to talk about
your district.
the
Yeah.
the
yeah,
district
efficiency.
and what efficiencies and things. And one thing we really talked about was this, there's been this trend the last few years of things coming off cycle, coming to the RTM. Oh, we have to do this, well, and what I'm getting from you is it sounds like everything's being put in the budget. There's nothing being held back, that they may come back to us in 6 months, say, we need this money now, and we vote on it.
Do you
I'm
only-
trying it. We'll get there. We haven't quite gotten there yet. We got one more thing to tell you. I'll tell you about in a few minutes. Yeah,
Or I would just say that has not to do with us was the,
that's what I mean. That's
Oh,
what we'll
okay.
talk about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's really
Yeah.
kind of, it's grants,
yeah.
so
Got it.
we'll get
Go
there in a
away.
few
Yeah.
minutes. So
Okay.
that essentially is it for Park and Rec from last night. And I'll move on and then we'll talk about what Patty's talking about now. Where'd it go? I have to read space. Oh, community and environment. So we're supposed to be following, yeah, that's the idea anyway. Oh, by the way, Anna's here. I saw you, Anna. And so Jean, you can count her as present now.
Okay.
Okay, good. So community and environment. And under community environment, there's celebrations and community grants. And then there's beautification and the harbor master. So I'm going to start with celebration and community grants. Monuments and ceremonies, the budget, the approved budget is $28,600. Holiday lights is $8,600. The Museum of Darien is $20,000. The depot is $76,267, and Kids in Crisis is $10,000. I can give you the background on these guys, but monuments and ceremonies, I think they asked for just a little bit more. But it wasn't all granted, but most of it was. Let me get this stuff out of the way here.
Was there anything specific that they had allocated for that the Board of Finance did not approve? Or was it just an overall sum?
I was gonna get to that.
I think the for the monuments and ceremonies, it was the town administrators reduced that by a couple thousand. By $2,000 from their request. So that, most of that they received. For the holiday lights, that stayed the same. For the Museum of Darien actually asked for an increase and of $10,000, and they did not grant that increase, just held it to $20,000. And I think the Board of Selectmen perhaps did that, if I'm remembering correctly. The depot is $76,267, which is a 4% increase from, I think for their personnel budget, but also it's an additional $14,400 stipend for taking over tops. So that's where that increase came. And Kids in Crisis it's the same as $10,000 as it was last year. That now is what Patty is talking about. There also was a request from Post 53 for $360,000. And it was withdrawn. I think they will continue the Board of Finance is going to continue to work with Post 53 to help them, they figure they're going to have a big fundraising push soon. They're gonna have to do something about their facilities for too long. And this was also to pay for personnel. And so I think they went kind of round in circles about, they just need more information, and this may come back off cycle. Perhaps probably not for the same amount of money, but it to be continued for sure, but it was definitely what was withdrawn from the budget.
So $350,000 grant request. And if you go back and watch like the Board of Selectmen meeting, John had said, a month and a half ago, if we do this, we really need to think about it in terms of what it can do with the library, where it kind of becomes a regular grant. So we have to really think about it. And not that we don't want to do it, but we have to have some guardrails around the rules and he encouraged them to get in contact with the library folks because she does just an amazing job. So, yeah.
I think they had done that, and so I think they had worked it through somewhat, but not enough, and pay on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Piano
It's in the Mather Center.
in the senior center?
But the good news was that they asked them to continue to work on things and get back to them. And they're very appreciative of everything that.
It's meetable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a best. Well. So. So beautification is $39,000 is their request for this year. And it's been approved. And really the increase from 34.6 is because of adding baskets, because we adding light poles. So with the new construction downtown. So that's the difference there. And then the harbor master is an increase from 3,300 to 6,000. And that is, it's for the buoys in the water, and they need with Great Island access area, that's why it's gonna cost more. It's an addition of 2 new speed buoys and an additional hazard buoy in Seagrass Cove. So the no wake zone slow down area. So you guys understand that better than me. So that is the community and environment budget. So we have now reviewed it, and we will vote on that along with the rest of the budget next time, and also the we will vote on the 6-year plan as well. This is interesting last night, hearing them, because nobody likes to vote for the 6-year plan because it's all this stuff out there. And it's like, if you say you're going to do that, it's a lot. But I guess the point made, the reason why they do that is that in order to be to get grants in the state, you need to have whatever it is you might be asking for a grant for in your 6-year plan.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's a lot in the 6-year plan.
Just in case.
Exactly.
We were just term placeholder.
Yeah, exactly. They're not really, they haven't been bid. The numbers aren't right. So anyway, that's that. Okay. You would gonna do some updates now. Pear Tree Beach Building Committee. I listened to your meeting.
Yes, it was long. Yes, so we met and yield, let's see, so on the site, most of the site work has been done, all the cement work has been done, the boat ramp and the sidewalks have been done. They still have to pave the parking lot. But in doing so, the drainage pipe, it was a 18-inch clay pipe exposed and it was flowing into a catch basin by the guardhouse, and that has the existing catch basin is unstable and it needs to be replaced in the road. So the connection is stable.
Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry, Sandy,
Oh,
the
I'm
drainage pipe.
I forgot, Gene, I gotta be. Okay, so the drainage, it's an 18-inch clay pipe exposed, flows to a catch basin by the guardhouse. The existing catch basin is unstable and needs to be replaced in the road so that the connection. Penny, who's Penny?
Yes, it's Penny.
Okay,
Penny's joined, Jean.
Penny's what? Oh, Penny joined. Okay, great.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
the evacuation, the excavation of the subbase in the southern portion of the parking lot found that we had a ledge, bedrock ledge, and that had to be removed. Also, the drainage needed Eversource to come out and to stabilize the utility pole. They were coming out and doing that. The existing water service to the bathhouse needs to be a bigger pipe. So they were going to get Aquarian to do that because there was a leak in it also, which they're not sure how the leak was created, if we didn't turn off the water right or we turned it off on too strongly. So we have to replace that. And then it has to be a bigger pipe because that's Aquarian's new thing. Then Yield asked for a 2-week extension. We did not vote to accept that. We are meeting again on April 15th to discuss the scheduling because the boat club and everybody else like, we need to open this thing up. So we're going to see. There's not much going on down there. I did drive by. There's not much going on down there right now. It's a little sad. So we're going to hope. Right.
Looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah, I noticed they backfilled some of the sand back in.
Yeah.
Up against the
Yeah.
curb, so that does look, it looks better.
Yeah, and that we have 2 extra trees coming in because they didn't get the right size trees. And so they're doing that work. So those are going to be going in.
Are there like islands?
Yeah, for the trees.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay,
But they're actually catch basins. I mean, they had to put the catch basins in anyway. They
okay.
didn't just make the islands so we could put more trees in.
Yeah.
I thought they,
They don't take up any more space either.
Okay.
So we're good.
in other words, you have the same amount of cars that'll be.
Well, we've lost originally, but we haven't lost any more than what we originally wrote.
Sandy, can you explain to anybody who's listening why it doesn't, having the tree in that, in those odd catch basin, it's an odd little shape. We weren't going to be able to make a parking space out of there anyways.
Good, but it's good.
But sometimes you have to go and visualize it, because that's one of the things I remember the first time. I'm like, why are we have a hard time parking down there?
Yeah,
Why would we
that's
take
right.
away? Well, we're doing catch basins, it's flood mitigation, it's great. And so then if you can do that and still put in a tree.
Yes.
And you're not, again, there's no SUV that's fitting in, it's maybe half of a wheel.
Yeah, right,
That would
exactly,
fit in that spot.
Not to be Johnny Greencloud, but what's the timing? What's the worst case on the timing?
It would be 2 weeks so May 15th as opposed to May 1st.
Okay.
I hope. Because we felt that if we gave them the extension, that it was gonna make them sort of, how they would pull out the people and we don't want that.
Oh, and
Keep
moving
going,
back
keep
later.
going. Put the pressure.
Cheryl, you have a question?
Yeah, well, first off, we can't see you anymore. All we see is a black screen with, like Diane's name just came up and it says conference room, conference 119. So
Okay.
I can't see any of you.
Everybody looks so pretty in this.
Hit the okay. Okay.
Okay, so my question is, Sandy, do you have a map out there as to exactly where all these trees are going to be planted?
I do not. I will ask for one.
Because were trees taken down years ago on the front beach and never replaced. They always said, well, wait. So by where those trees were in the row of the front parking area, they could be replaced there. And then I understand they're going to put trees on the back beach. But we could also use more trees on the front beach.
I think 24 trees, we should get them pretty much all over the place, hopefully.
Right.
I'll get them out though.
Is there a
Okay,
diagram
thank you.
on something on one of our websites that the public can actually go and see this? It's an interesting question.
Okay.
Where are the trees going to be located? Where are the catch basins going to be located?
Yeah.
If our taxpayers are paying for this, then they should be able to see exactly where we are in every step of this project.
Okay. I'll find it
I
out.
would assume they had to submit that to P and Z, so it's with,
Building.
is it, yeah, Guild, right? Or is it Weston and Sampson?
Yeah.
It was,
I would think that Jen.
Jen might have-
Jen's probably got
Yeah.
that, yeah. Anybody else with questions?
Wait, so Patty, are you can somebody put the video back on?
I don't-
So it's under conference 119, is that what you guys are seeing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I can tell that
But for
it
my,
was Kelly that made that comment, but just
It was.
for the universe. Whoever's watching.
I don't know,
Yeah.
see if you can,
I don't know, I didn't put
you
it
can
on.
click on conference one
Do you
nineteen,
know how to-
just tap on
How to
it.
make
Yeah.
this the video portion work?
No, he didn't.
No,
do
I
that.
don't.
No, that's not him.
Oh,
It's us.
Funny that you've done.
Yeah, it does.
Look on
Box
the,
Saturday,
click on the bottom.
Video, yeah, see what it does.
where?
The bottom.
Okay, hit conference one nineteen again.
Yeah.
Now look down.
Down.
Look down.
Yeah, straight down, straight down.
video has a red line through it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Now you guys should be able to see it.
Now
Now
it
just
didn't
leave
go
it.
out.
No,
No,
no, the receipt,
No.
no, no.
What does that say?
You know, when we did this, it said something about a firewall.
Oh, that's not good.
But we saw you before.
Yeah, we had it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, something's happening.
oh,
Okay, there you go.
There you
Now
go.
we see you.
Came and went.
Perfect.
We have cookies.
Ah,
There it is.
there we are. Oops.
Running games, Park and Rec.
Oh, we'll see how long that lasts, guys.
I see it.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you. Okay, no,
It's an Artemis.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the mood.
Oh, God.
That's a cool background we're saying.
Okay, no, any other questions for Sandy?
Sandy, so the date that they hope was May 1st.
Yes.
The fallback date would be 2 weeks later,
Yes.
mid-May.
Yeah.
When do our, and we know we want to have it open for Memorial Day.
Yeah. That's drop dead.
And that's drop dead. And they also talked about, I remember a discussion about if people had to get boats in,
They can't do that.
they're not going to be able to do that. But most people are bringing boats around. No.
Most of them are being dropped off by, he mentioned the name of the boat company, yeah, so.
Oh.
Well, and then that,
What
What
about
about
kayaks?
company is delivering them?
Yeah,
to
they,
the
they,
beach?
they store them and the boat, whoever they store them with, come and drop it off and just tie it up to their. And then
there's a boat down there. There's a,
Uh,
right in the-
nice.
there
What
in
about
the
the
parking lot.
kayaks? Can't put those in yet?
I don't think, so. No.
Yeah,
you
you're not allowed
can't
on
in the
site.
parking lot, yeah.
Everything
Okay,
fenced out.
yeah.
Well, optimistic. I mean, they just were killing it, getting
I
everything
know.
done so well. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, when
That's
you
why we didn't sort of understand, I don't know.
right. But I mean, when you
It's the
hit
water
that,
line, I mean, it's getting those pipes.
it's
in
the
there.
pipes, right?
And then it also, if the weather, cooperate.
Right, getting at the entrance where the guardhouse is.
Yes.
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 Anyway, so it's very good that the things that are getting done.
Yes,
Getting
yeah.
done though.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okey doke.
Wait, Sandy, sorry, one
One
question.
thing on
That-
ADA,
the
on
18
ADA.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The 18-inch drainage pipe, was that the same as the clogged pipe that you had mentioned last
That's
time?
the
That was
clogged
going down?
pipe.
The same one and the
Yeah.
same. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
what I just wanted to say regarding ADA, you know, sometimes we get really comfortable with what we have. Like I remember the first time they were saying we were gonna put sidewalks down there. I'm like, well, it's a beach. You pull up your car, like why?
Yeah.
Sidewalk, you know, things like that. Those sidewalks look amazing.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
really, really impressive. Up to the area where you have the grills and then around and along the front beach, front or back of both sides of the beach. It looks terrific. And then as we are, all the towns in Connecticut are under watch for ADA. This is fantastic because anything we now, you know, touch, we have to make sure is ADA compliant, and it just feels, you went by there yesterday, right? It looks really impressive. Yeah, so that helps towards our ADA stock, so to speak.
It does, it does. Diane, do you have anything for monuments and ceremonies?
Just that they are still seeking one more person for the committee, and that person has to be a Democrat or an independent. The speakers for the Memorial Day parade for the Grand Marshal, and speaker nominations are going to take place at the next meeting. And cleanup of the cemeteries will begin in mid to late April. And that's it.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Benny, do you have anything from beautification?
Hi, sorry about that.
That's
They had a meeting, full disclosure, they had a meeting today, this morning, but I had a conflict, so I wasn't able to listen yet into that. So I'm very sorry. I don't have the most recent meeting information. So I'm gonna have to report back the next
Okay.
time. Yeah.
I did notice the ad for the Bricks campaign was on one of the town newsletters.
That's right. I saw that as well. Yeah. That's right. But yes, I will, I'll do a deeper report at the next meeting.
You know, sure. We don't have Trevor, so I don't think we're gonna have the advisory commission on coastal waters. Great Island?
Oh, sorry, it's for,
I'm just gonna hand these out to you. That you all can keep. And I'll send it to the rest, or I'll send it to our chair to send out. We don't have to go through the whole thing, but this is kind of an overview of the next step with Reed and Hildebrand for early access. And so we had put it out there for who was going to do the, you know, Reed and Hildebrand did win the bid to do the early access. They have, as part of their overall master plan, they had done, as you know, a lot of kind of different designs. Originally, just to recap, when the Board of Selectmen came to us, the Great Island crew, they were asking for 14 million. That got dialed back to 6 million by the Board of Finance. And they said, we don't need, you know, right now we don't need fancy bathrooms. We need to get people on the island. So the focus should be early access parking and some infrastructure. And so basically what Reed and Hildebrand is doing is they're doing design documents that will include construction basically of where the parking will go and on that causeway. So when you walk in, instead of going to the left, like I do the walk and I always go to the left, but they're going to have the cars come in and you go straight to the right. That's where you'll pull in and then you'll be parking almost just off, you know, a little bit further back, but off the road. And so I think might end up being kind of angular parking. But so the goal is, the focus is the parking, kind of construction for the parking. So as they're going to have to dig, you know, clear out some space to do that. Some landscape and some lighting. They're looking at the discussion of lighting is whether it's you can see, I should have my glasses on, motion sensor or timers. And this is not on all the time. It's just at night. As people are clearing out, because we know what happens at 4:30 in the fall, once the time change, et cetera. Some lighting and then infrastructure will be important. So even though we're not at the stage of deciding what we're going to be doing with any of the other existing buildings, et cetera, we're going to be paving the road. As you can see, they've done a great job on expanding that entrance. And so what they want to do is put in some of the piping and things for water and for electricity, and put in some of those pipes for infrastructure prior to any paving. Because then all they'd have to do is go in and do the hookup later, once those decisions are made down the line. And what else? It's a robust timeline. You guys can go through the packet, but it's an 18-month timeline. They had an option 1 starting in March, but obviously they weren't going to get there for that because of a number of reasons. So they're going with the option 2, which is starting in April. We're now mid-April, well, the beginning of April. The First Grade Island Early Access Building Committee meeting is next Thursday. So we'll really learn more. I was just able to get this information so I could share with us. So we were a little bit more up to speed. But if you get the chance, go by. I've been walking it every weekend, and it's been fun to watch that front entrance get wider and wider. And then I watched on Sunday, or not on Sunday, this week, they were rebuilding, they had to knock down, they took out the fence. Now they're putting up the pillars again, and it looks good. And one of the things Reed Hildebrand kind of touts is that a lot of the different places that they've done a similar type of thing, that they're focused on the historic nature of a property. They want to still have that feel for it, but also make it functional.
So the pillar's just gonna be wider? I mean, the opening's gonna be wider?
If it didn't feel wider, it was just that they had to knock everything down to do it. And it's nice to see it coming back up and not just brand new.
It's the same pillar.
It's not
Material,
stable.
the materials that were taken away are being put back. Yeah.
The driveway
It's
there.
rebuilt.
Yes.
That's
And for anybody watching, the purpose of widening the driveway is it's a public health and safety issue. If
I
they're
already know.
to be able to get, a fire engine in, or a post 53 in and get cars out. So anyways, it's really exciting, and will be a lot of work will be going. The first round will be 30% of kind of construction designs to be reviewed. Then they'll go into 60%, and then they'll go into the full 100. So the timeline is all spelled out here for the 18 months.
Thank you.
Mention anything about how many parking spaces might be available to begin with?
I don't know for sure because they haven't had the first meeting yet. The number I was hearing was 100.
And where is it going again? I'm
It's-
sorry, I missed.
So Kelly,
As you drive into the drive.
in that spot. When you drive in, as we come into the driveway, instead of going left on this kind of causeway entrance, the circle is right there.
Right.
You just go to the right. So if you were going left and doing the full circle
When
around,
you go over
you'd
that
be
bridge,
coming
there's a
back.
little overpass there that you're walking across to get you onto the
You know,
island.
with
If
this-
you go to the right, you go around the circle and
Go
go
to
in
the
that way.
if you go in that way.
Yeah.
So when we've walked, it's when we're coming out. It's the end of the walk, and then we're coming out and coming down to go back out again. So it's gonna be.
Reversed with the.
They've reversed it
Yeah.
because they want to still be able to have a lot of people walking this way, but this was a closer way to get cars in. Some of it's going to be,
Where are the parking spaces and so that's.
so that's what we were saying. We're waiting to see, but it's set that the stone house, if you're going left, is there. That's further in, but behind there, kind of meadowy area and grass. So it would be adjacent to the road. And kind of like right next to each other, right next to the road, almost on an angle. So, but we're waiting to see the designs. So
How long is it until they will be able to provide the designs? I know it's an 18-month timeline. What was the timeline for the design, then the approval? Did they kind of go through that timeline?
yes, it has it. It has it in here. Hold on.
Okay,
just a
perfect. I'll look at that later,
Question.
Patty. No worries.
But that's a fair question. Let me go to the option 2 because it wasn't option 1. If we're starting in April, they're looking at having 30% of the designs done in that beginning phase from April through November. Phase 2 is December 26th through November of 2027.
So we don't know the answer to the question, Jean, but I think you'll get a better idea once the building committee meets, truthfully.
Correct.
There's been any
So
determination?
potentially we won't have parking until 2027.
Correct. But they said that.
Yeah.
You heard our first selectman say that.
Yeah.
And the Great Island folks say that. But at least it's become the priority. And I think that if not to opine, if we were doing all these other things attached to it, then that timeline could have been much longer. And so as a result, people were saying, we're hearing from people of all ages, young parents who, it's a long walk with the kids, older folks who have an issue. They're like, just get me some parking nearby so I can enjoy it.
Are there be restrictions? You have to be a resident? Do you have to have a parking pass?
Those are all great questions. That is all falling under governance. That doesn't come at all until now. And that governance will not come from Reed Hildebrand. That will come from our selectmen, our first
Yeah.
selectmen.
So I think now you're going to be building a guardhouse and
Well, there's a beautiful guardhouse right there.
Yeah.
If they would donate it to us.
yeah.
Not likely.
No, right when you first, that beautiful.
Oh, you're joking. It's not good. There's an art.
Exactly,
it's a private-
yeah.
No, it's not. I said, but who knows? He might decide that he wants to donate it
That's
to
right,
us.
an offer they can't refuse.
We're gonna bring some cookies
right
and
off.
start the
Yeah.
charm initiative.
But I hope they're thinking about it because now when they're doing this construction, you got to think about where you're going to have a place for someone to check passes.
Yeah.
You got to think about where that's
Yes.
going to be.
Where our free pay grade of volunteers are not in that inner loop. So, but those are, those are greater minds, our first selectmen, I'm sure, and, and Monica and those folks are on it and have examined all those options. So,
Obviously,
That's
to be continued.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll
Thank
send
you
this
very much.
around. I'll send it to Adele to send to you all so you can see it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Read all along anyway.
It's all print though.
Yeah, exactly. So it might be easier on the computer when you can blow it up, I just have a short chairman's report. The board of report, right? The commission's last meeting was a short meeting. And just a couple of things. Most of the updates, frankly, we had just heard because our meeting was right before their meeting. So I think when Jen Baber was updating the commission, she was saying a lot of what we had already heard. But the one thing that was on their agenda was Caroline Schwartz, a sophomore at Darien High School, has proposed that she would like to have to take on putting another cleanup station at Pear Tree Point and then at another park. So much like what's at Weed Beach. So you're just looking to help the environment really and to make everything neat and tidy. And they were really excited and approved the project. And I think it's to be decided yet, maybe another park, but not really sure which one it will be. So they're evaluating that. So that was a pretty nice presentation that Caroline did. No, it's not.
It's not for her.
No, it's not. She just wants to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the other bit highlight of the meeting actually was a chance to meet the new administrative staff. Lexi Polsek and Isaiah Ashmani were introduced to the commission. And Lexi is the supervisor, and they've changed their titles. So just we can actually the titles I think are much better now than they were before. It's a little confusing, but Lexi Polsek is the supervisor of camp and programs. she's experienced and has most recently worked in Southbury, Park and Rec. And she started on January 5th, and she sort of hit the ground running, I think. Isaiah is the manager of programs and events, and he started on February 23rd, and he'll focus on programming and events. He'll also oversee the pickleball program and department marketing. So he's a recent graduate of Fairleigh Dickinson University and has been working in New Jersey for Franklin Township Recreation Department. So it was a pleasure to meet them. I guess they're old enough.
Why?
Isaiah,
Is that?
it's youth. It was wonderful, quite frankly. And they talk so well, just beautifully, and they have all sorts of great ideas. And I think they're really, really great. The group of them working together, I think great things are going to happen.
And it's so great that Jen Baba can have a full staff now. She's been
Oh,
doing
wow.
double duty
She
for a
has.
long time.
She has.
Thank you to that staff.
Lexi actually has been working to restructure the camp program, and they're still looking for ways, as Jen had explained to us, to accommodate more children. But the problem is the space at the schools this year. And Isaiah's working on the Sun Plus One event, which is on April 25th, which is K-5, a son and a parent. And it's going to be 2 sessions on the town hall fields, and it sounds like fun. You know, it's games and stuff, good stuff. Things the guys might enjoy.
Can I add one thing on on the camp thing?
Sure.
Something that Jen Fava said at our last meeting, I thought it was really helpful. Jean, you asked that question and Trevor did the follow-up because you guys have the littlest kids about why the summer camps went out so quickly. And she recapped that it used to be at 3, it was under, it wasn't under her purview originally, it was under the youth group, but that it was 3 elementary schools and the depot. And as a result of what's going, our work on HHR, it was down to just 1 school. And that was so helpful to understand that they had to dial back on 50 kids, they had to take 50 less. And that they, not only were they all in one building, so they had to figure out the constraints of that, but also recall, she talked about if they were doing a road trip to the beach, right? You can only have so many kids on this bus, etc. So I had said to her, you should get on channel 79 because I felt like she was feeling a little beat up a little bit when everybody was like, how come she was getting a lot of those how come calls? And John Zagrowski mentioned that last night in the Board of Finance meeting. And so I mentioned to her, well, you should get on channel 79 that Jim Cameron does these Q&A for that. So I sent Jim an email after our meeting and he reached out to Jen and he's scheduling something to do that. So just a way of us helping her not, get the message out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe put the Q&A right before like the Board of Education meetings and things like that. He can place some of those in the rotation for channel 79.
That's good. Thank you, Patty. That's good to hear. I think we
Asked for this, but do you know why only why originally it was only 3 of the elementary schools that provided space for the camp? Obviously now we're down to 1, but then what about the other 2?
Probably because of summer school, because summer school used to be spread out. Now it's not as spread out, but summer school might.
Only at Ox Ridge, I think I want to say, but I could be wrong. Okay. So you think it's because of I forget the program's name, like ELC or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it must have also depended on the number of I don't know, you're right, could be staffing, but it and how many kids, how much interest there was. So, sky's the limit, we work on
That's
it.
what I think. I mean, I'm sure the interest would be there. I wouldn't be concerned
But
about
you
that. I
also-
understand like the bus with the cost ramifications of hiring another bus and this and that. So obviously there needs to be some due diligence there, but okay, I was just curious about that with the schools.
Well, I think with it in Lexi's Falzek's hands, she knows what she's about. So I think it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
She's a nice person. And both of our new hires are, they're really personable, so I think we'll, we'll see. The other little bit of news I had was that, the Weed Beach dunes will be weeded prior to their, planting of the remaining dunes, which everything's happened in April, so hopefully the week of the 20th of April, that will happen. And, one last little tidbit that I noticed, on the week of April 20th,
Yeah.
they're hoping to plant those, to
Plant-
weed and then plant
The
the new
plugs.
plugs, yeah, and for the rest of the dunes. for
And
this
then
year.
we had to hire an outside group to do that.
Well, that is an outside group doing it.
'Cause it
Yes,
would-
that's when we plan to do it. The plans will be in by then and
Got it, because there's too much, our guys were too busy with everything, and they do all the.
it's very
loading in the
labor
field.
intensive, yeah, so, yeah, that we are, and we got a little extra money to do the rest of the dunes this time around too. And the last bit of news was that on March 17th, let's see. All right, okay. So on March 17th, in the Board of Selectmen meeting, I noticed it's not the Board of Selectmen, it's the Board of Finance approved a transfer of $6,870 from the Board of Finance Capital Reserve to the Portable Sound System Capital Account, it's an expenditure which increases the range of the sound system that we purchased last year that was in the Park and Rec capital budget. So, I mean, if you recall, they asked for a larger system and or cut back and they said, okay, well, we'll do it with one. And really, they needed to. So now that they made the transfer and will purchase more of the system. That's it for the update, the chairman's report. I also, if you notice, I put on here suggestions to make the Park and Rec Committee, RTM, town government more efficient. It's just in the, I added that because just in the vein of what we're doing in our districts, I thought if anybody had anything specific they would like to say, then I would pass it along, and we could talk about it too. But, if anybody has any suggestions, speak up now.
I'm gonna use the example I used for District 1. And we had a really robust conversation, and I know that some of the other districts and some of the other ones are about to. But one of the main driver for me in terms of efficiency for the RTM to make, like, why having to wait to do business at certain meetings. This is tying in with you. My point was the 2 November meetings that we have at the RTM, and I'll circle back for why it applies to our Parks and Rec. But the 2 November meetings are really about 15 minutes. You have the annual meeting and you have the organizational meeting, right? The annual meeting is when we come. It's the first meeting after the election. You get sworn in, you say hi to everybody in your district, and then you're out of there. And in our district, we have several people that commute. Jean, I know you commute. And one or two that commute from all the way down at Wall Street. So that is a major time suck to have to leave early to come for a 15-minute meeting and really not do any business. And then so that's the annual meeting. The second November meeting is the organizational meeting where we break out into our groups and our committees. And for us, it's great because you're very thorough. I have to say, I think Adele's one of the best chairs I've ever worked with, along with Mark Adeletta. She always has all the meetings set for the year. You already you're locking in the rooms and you give us, kind of an overview, and that's really helpful. But some committee chairs just say, okay, that's it, we're meeting and that's it. So we're trying to formalize, what committee chairs, what should happen at that organizational meeting.
Just for clarification,
yeah.
at the first meeting, isn't that when we elect our district chair?
District chair,
So we
and
do
the
some
two
business.
roles.
We do.
Well, we do some business, but it's pretty brief.
Oh, it's brief,
And
but it's what we
so-
do. That's when we elect our district.
Yes, but again, if you're really, if you're having to adjust the schedule because you're gonna be in a meeting on the West Coast or wherever. It is, especially for the new folks that are coming in, and that's the feedback I was hearing. They're excited because they're gonna have these, first two meetings of the RTM, and then all of a sudden it's nothing. Like you get to meet your people, but it's really not meaty yet.
Mhm.
And so to tie it back to the Parks and Rec, an example was, when we had recommended Sandy to be our Parks and Rec representative on the Pear Tree Point Building Committee.
Mhm.
I was pushing for us in rules to be able to get that nomination on the floor and voted on. And we were getting pushback that we couldn't really do it. It does that. And we used to hear in the December meeting, state of the town meeting, that we never did business there. Now, we know we did business because we have voted on some important things in the last year prior to that. But that to me was an example of efficiency. And if we're going to have those meetings, we could at least have one or two speakers. We can do at that first annual meeting, we could do an overview of these are things district chairs do. These are the things committee chairs do. Sign up for the John Zabrowski's newsletter, right? Sign up for Darien 79. We're trying to do a cross check to find out how many of our RTM reps are subscribed to the newsletter in Darien 79. You don't have to, but boy, does it give you a lot of information, right? And with the time stamps that Mike Wheeler and those guys do, it makes life so much easier. So I just wanted to use that as an example of something that for me was I talked about in my district, but it also was a great example of you had to do those first two meetings where you couldn't even speak when you're at Pear Tree. So thank you for doing it. But that was just, again, a time suck that shouldn't have to happen. So thank you for your time.
Anybody else?
Well, just our District 5 meeting was good. Talked about a few things. But one thing that came up was talking about efficiencies. Town hall is closed on Fridays. And and I don't have one constituent that's ever said to me, hey, that's a great idea. There's no reason why they couldn't stagger.
It's a union issue now.
Well, that's got to be addressed in the next contract. But anyway, I think that's something we should talk about. I mean, our district brought that up.
But it's in the union now.
That was just in District 1, District 4, you're saying District 5.
It's never really, bantered about, what do you guys think?
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Once again, right? Once it's put in a union contract, it's hard to dial that back,
Our
but
town administrator at the time was very enthusiastic about.
Yeah, so she lived in Westchester.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be snarky about it, but
Yeah.
it's just it's something that.
Downtown in town halls, they're like, it's a long day. It's a long day and, it'd be a shorter day if they worked 5 days a week. So.
Yeah, or it makes Monday harder.
and that's interesting
You know,
feedback actually
yes.
from the, people who work here. The
Yeah.
other thing is, think about our meetings on Monday for the RTM is Monday. Board of Selectmen meetings are Monday and rules meetings are Monday, right? So all those agendas have to be in by Thursday.
Right.
And poor Krista, our town
Yeah.
clerk, is scrambling because everybody's sending them to her at 5 or 5:15 when she actually is supposed to be leaving. So that's part of let's get it to her earlier. But I'm sure that our selectmen are going to hear that from every district. And that's nothing, they can't do it now, but it's something for
Yeah.
them to be considering in the future. And we do have Public Works and P&Z. Those departments are open on Friday. They are not probably fully staffed, but it's, as you
Yeah.
say, a few people there. And I think
And they have
the town
day off.
clerk's office
Yeah.
and Parks and Rec, but particularly for us on the RTM, that town clerk office is key. Even leading into election, right?
Right.
I was saying boards really necessarily staffed on the elections. Thank you for sharing.
And the other thing we talked about was, and Amy was all over this. But,
Easy.
and to have, let's talk about it again, but he as the RTM, when we're listed on town hall, list our name, our phone number, our address, but not our email address. And it's a huge again, for constituents, there should be every other town official has their email address, whether it's the first selectman, board of finance.
But I think some people are concerned that you're gonna get a lot of more information coming in. It's gonna clog up your own personal computer. Maybe it should be going to.
But every other town official has a town email address.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, you would really, it would behoove you to be sure that you had a town email address. I hear you.
Well,
Yeah,
that's something we talked about with efficiencies.
I agree, because the communication between rules and like chairman, that's one of the things when you get new members and you don't have, that the listings don't have the emails, and you have to make sure that somebody makes sure to tell you what they, how you get in touch with these people. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we're working on that project now on rules. We've, you're gonna see, we have now gone through a list of like, these are the, 6 to 8 things district chair should, guidelines for them, responsibilities. Same thing for committee chairs. There's like 13 or 14. And then for the RTM, we're gonna do a new member our RTM packet and an orientation, and then say things like sign up for DarienCT.gov, do the Jay-Z's newsletter, sign up for this, and then because I've been deep diving a lot into the RTM website, and there's Channel 79 is really, I feel like, made our lives so much easier, right, with the timestamps. But I was even trying to find something on Parks and Rec Commission, and I found where I could click on, I was going back individually each time, and then I found something where I could just click on it. I could get 6 meetings all in a row instead of having to jump around. But it wasn't obvious because the website can be a little labor intensive.
And the AI is just going to get better and better.
Yep. Kelly, do you want to share with Mac and the rest of the team what you did, because you're pitch hitting for District 2 as vice chair, that you're going to be running their district meeting, and you had said you're trying to figure out like what to ask. You're waiting for that, and that you did with AI, you AI'd our meeting.
Yeah, I use it a lot. I use my best friend, ChatG. ChatG and I have a very healthy relationship, and it works like this. If I'm not clear on something, whether it's interior design or something at RTM, or conducting a more efficient meeting, I will put what I think and then how to make this better, and it will spit back to me exactly what how to make something more efficient, how to improve upon whatever idea I have.
And you said, why didn't I think of that?
But no, I can choose, because I'm a thinking person, where, it makes sense, or really it doesn't make sense for this particular meeting I'm going to, or whatever the situation is. But in this case, I am a new person, as we all know, and I have not a clue how this whole organization works. And so it's taken a while, a few months of being on this, to figure it out through osmosis, really, because there is no handbook, which is why I applaud rules and the organization in general for actually taking a huge step in the right direction in this case. Because while we do need volunteers, it is a volunteer role, and we all have other jobs and commitments. And so to say, well, it's all on the RTM website, and then, as you just stated, sometimes it can be hard to navigate through the website. That's really not an excuse. In other words, we need to have, if we're going to accept new members in this organization, we need, like every other organization, to have a handbook of how an agenda should be put together, or what the expectations are of you as a volunteer in this organization. You are representing constituents. It's a role that you have been voted into, and you should take it, responsibly. It's an honor to be a representative. So in my case, I literally had no clue. It was his committee.
It was your committee, not mine.
And I took the agenda I took that, you got it. And I literally threw it into, copy and paste it into ChatGPT, and it spit out, okay, here are the top things, Kelly, that you need to address when you have your meeting. And therefore, I had.
I did, but with regards to the minutes, what it helped when you were trying to figure out what other districts did, and you said, like, some districts, recorded their meetings, other districts didn't, but you took it and you took the minutes and
Right.
and did
And put it through
ChatGPT, and then it just highlighted the points, some of the points that we were talking
I
about. that,
copy,
along with
copy
other-
and paste
Yeah.
into the search box and it does it. I create an agenda, create a tight and brief agenda from this entire hour-long meeting. And then I went through it and then Seth Warren was helpful in helping me understand what Jay-Z was actually asking us to do. And so then I could, make it a little bit more clear. So.
But I'm saying with regards to the minutes, for you to get a feel for what other districts talked about, that helped you to see, oh, at District 1, they did focus on town hall wasn't open, the November thing. There were some other, we saw, District 4 has a guy who's got a very strong tech background, and he listed a whole lot of ways. No, not Pierce, it's a guy named
John
Philip.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Flipman, and he listed, right, a
Yep.
whole bunch of suggestions to make things more efficient, which is great. So sharing that, that was helpful to read for the next time we do our district meeting, so.
Anybody else have any comments on the remote folks? Okay, well, thank you. That was good. Helpful. Spot. Is there any other business? In that case, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Sandy and Mac, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for dialing in.